In recent years, the Florida coastline, like other attractive water areas, has become a mecca for skin diving enthusiasts. Tourists who didn't know a regulator from a mouthpiece were able to learn the rudiments of this fabulous sport from Julian Lobeck and George Turner, who ran a skin diving school out of Miami. After 20 hours of instruction and training, graduation was an underwater trip to a group of rocks and caves some 4 miles offshore. Several times I'd been along on the Lobeck-Turner graduation trip, but not this time. Not the time that Julian managed to slip away from the group. He headed toward a spot where he knew a very special package had been carefully hidden for him. What he didn't know was that his partner, George Turner, was following him. George grabbed the package from him, signaled him to surface. Instead, Julian pulled his knife. There was no point now in putting the mouthpiece back in George's mouth. George was beyond air, beyond help of any kind. Julian got rid of the incriminating package in a hurry. The students were coming aboard now.
Help you with that.
Well, Teach, how did we do?
Huh? Fine. You all passed with swimming colors.
Where's George?
Well, I don't know. Wasn't he with you?
No, we thought he was with you.
Well, he's been down too long. Looks like trouble. Don, call the Coast Guard. Tell them we need help.
I'm a member of the Coast Guard Auxiliary. That day, my boat was the nearest to Julian Lobeck's. When I heard the distress call on the radio, I checked in and volunteered to take the call. I was particularly anxious, not only because a diver was reported lost, but because I knew both Julian and George personally. Ten minutes later, I was aboard the Swan, and the students were telling me what they knew about the so-called accident. Julian was underwater, still searching, so they said. But he surfaced a moment later.
There he is.
I made several passes through the area, Mike. Not a trace.
Now, let's give it another try, Julian.
Mike, it's hopeless.
No harm trying. Show me where you last saw him.
Okay.
Julian showed me the area where he claimed he had last seen George. We made several passes searching for some sign of him. It wasn't until later Much later that I learned why he had deliberately led me in the wrong direction. "24 hours later, a Coast Guard cutter, still searching the surface, came upon George Turner's body. The coroner's report established that death was due to a knife wound inflicted by a person or persons unknown. Coast Guard headquarters opened an immediate investigation. Commander Tugwell invited me to be present.
Like only yesterday, we're diving from the end of a pier for pennies, and now I just don't understand it. Everybody liked George.
Somebody didn't. Your partner was involved in a struggle before his face mask was lost.
What about the students, the tourists who were with you? Have you any reason to believe it?
Nothing there, Mike. However, we've asked them all to remain in Miami for the next 48 hours. That's all, Mr. Lobeck. Oh, if you happen to remember anything or hear anything, would you please let us know?
I sure will, Commander. Yeah.
I'll see you, Julie. Well, if everybody checks out clean in the Swan, the killer obviously had to come from some other boat, huh?
There wasn't another vessel within a mile of the Swan.
Well, what about another skin diver? I mean, someone who wasn't on the Swan.
But why?
Well, if we could pinpoint the spot where George was killed, we might find out why.
Maybe we can. Come with me.
With the help of a civilian official, we went to work immediately. First, we marked the spot on the chart where George's body was found. The coroner's report was able to tell us how long George had been dead at the time his body was discovered. From the Oceanographic Institute, we were able to get the average speed of the current during the time the body was in the water, and also the direction of the current. Then, multiplying the speed of the current by 26 hours, Commander Tugwell was able to get the approximate distance that the body had traveled. That, plus the direction of the current, helped us locate the approximate area where George had met his death. I went out with Commander Tugwell aboard a cutter to see if I could find anything underwater in this area that might give us a clue to the mystery. George's face mask was missing. I hoped that I might find it.
This is it, Mike. We're right in the middle of our search area.
If I'm lucky, I might find one of these down there.
Looking for a face mask on the floor of the ocean is like searching for a needle in a haystack. One fractional error in our calculations and I could end up miles from where the struggle occurred. Two air tanks later, I saw something in the distance. Up close, it proved to be what I'd hoped for.
It's his, all right. His initials are on it.
Yeah, I see.
Should have thought of this area from the beginning.
How come?
The underwater caves. The graduation hall for Lobeck Skin Diving School.
But Julian sent us off in another direction.
Yeah, I know he did. I'm going back and search the same area again. Might find something else.
This search was to produce something new and unexpected. I had no idea what the small plastic bag could be, but it was worth taking to the surface.
The break we've been waiting for. About 6 months ago, we were notified by CIA that Miami might be the message center for an espionage ring dealing in sabotage.
What?
Yeah. In spite of every precaution and every possible surveillance, we knew that instructions were being brought into the country and we couldn't figure out who was doing it.
Oh, you mean George and Julian, huh?
Simple and clever. A skin diving school is a front to bring in microfilm containers. They've become so much a part of the waterfront, nobody even thought of them.
I still don't understand. How did the microfilm get there?
If a skin diver from the Swan can swim to the caves, a skin diver from a ship beyond the limits can swim to meet him.
Yeah, that doesn't answer your question, though. Why did they kill George?
Maybe the FBI can find the answer in here. Meantime, I think we better have another session with Julian.
The Coast Guard was searching for Julian Lobeck, but someone else had been searching for him too, and had found him.
Notice the natural design of this driftwood, worn smooth by the erosion of the sea. Thing of beauty, tremendous resilience. It has been conditioned by the very forces which shaped it. But you, my friend, have not been conditioned to treachery. In fact, you're quite the novice. So let's have none of it. Where's the other package?
The what?
There were 2 packages in the delivery. You brought me only 1.
Well, I brought what I found.
Would you trade your life for a little plastic bag?
But I haven't got it. I never did.
My boy, that package has no value to you, but I assure you a great deal to me. Your life isn't worth a fig until I get it.
I haven't got it, believe me. I'd give it to you if I could, believe me. Maybe I lost it when George and I...
I'm waiting. The rest of it?
George found out I was working for you. He told me to quit. And when I told him I wouldn't, he followed me to the cave and he tried to take the package from me. We got into a fight and when I saw what happened, I headed back to the Swan. And when I climbed aboard, I realized I was holding the package.
2 packages.
1 package. You gotta believe me.
I do. I want you to go back and get the other package. Find it.
But the Coast Guard's all over that area.
You'll pick it up this afternoon. We're expecting another delivery at the caves. You can kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Oh, no.
My boy, you have no choice. You will do as you are told.
But the Coast Guard.
You have no choice. this afternoon at 4.
He'll never hold up.
I know. It will be your mission to cast the first stone. And be sure the right bird is the target.
Yes, sir.
It was turning out to be a bad day for Julian all around.
Mr. Lobeck, do you have any idea why we should call you back?
No.
Have you remembered anything which might have slipped your mind during our first conversation?
No, sir, not a thing. Where'd you find it?
Where he was killed, near the underwater caves.
What's that?
Microfilm? Instructions for enemy agents in this country?
Enemy agents? Look, please believe me. I didn't know what was in that package. I thought it was jewels or something.
Now, what about your partner, George Turner? Was he involved in all this?
George was clean, Snow White. He died trying to stop me. We got into a fight. I killed him for a lousy $500.
How? How?
$100 a pickup. I made 5 of them for Seminard.
Who is Seminard?
He owns a driftwood shop out in East El Dorado. He ships the stuff out in the driftwood. Look, he's the one you want, not me. I'm no spy.
No, you're not a spy. You're just a man who kills his partner.
Look, that was an accident. I didn't mean to kill him, I swear. It was an accident.
What next, Commander? Shall we, wrap up Seminard?
It's no good if he ships the film out. We've got to grab him with the evidence in his possession.
There's another pickup scheduled for this afternoon at 4.
And you're the messenger?
Yes.
Unfortunately, you'll be in custody of the FBI.
Maybe I can do the job for him, Commander. I mean, take his place, huh?
Look, you want to play ball?
What do you mean?
You're up against a murder charge and an espionage charge. You want to make it hard on yourself or easy?
Commander, I'll do anything at this point. Anything.
Then you'll help us pull a switch on your friend Seminard.
At 3:35 that afternoon, Seminard and his strong-arm man were out at sea.
We're now as far from the rendezvous as Julian should be in 25 minutes.
I'll be waiting for him.
With ample time to make your preparations, we can't afford any more mistakes. Let us be neat and efficient and get it over with before we attract the attention of the Coast Guard.
The diver was carrying a large net as he swam to the cave that had been set up as the rendezvous for that afternoon. Even if I had known that, I couldn't have guessed what he planned to do with it. Once in the cave, he slipped a dummy microfilm packet from his belt and started rigging a booby trap. Julian brought the Swan to her usual anchor spot promptly at 4 o'clock. He slipped into the cabin, ostensibly to get into his scuba. He was in wetsuit for a good reason. I was in my wetsuit, ready to take his place, while the FBI took Julian back into custody. Our theory was that we might be observed, and the wetsuit would serve to make us both look alike. And we were observed. I approached the cave cautiously and swam inside on the alert for a possible ambush. I spotted the familiar plastic microfilm bag. Caution warned me to look twice. I saw a wire that was hooked to it. Almost immediately, a diver launched himself at me. Realizing that I had found his booby trap, he didn't waste a minute attacking the man that he thought was Julian. I don't know whether it was his fin or mine. They tripped the booby trap. We found ourselves caught in the net that had been intended for Julian. I disarmed him. Now I tried to make him understand that we were both dead ducks unless he stopped struggling. He got the message. I could breathe easy while I cut through the net. When he tried to get out too, it was too late. I had him in the bag, and that's just the way I wanted him.
Nice work, Mike.
Who's he?
Mr. Seminard, you've heard his name bandied about.
Oh, I sure have.
Our helicopter spotted his boat in the vicinity and we picked him up. He doesn't want to talk, but we think he may change his mind.
Especially after this character explains why he tried to kill me.
Probably thought it was me. He's Seminard's strong-arm man.
I have no connection with this fellow. I've never seen him before in my life.
You crummy liar! I've worked for you for 5... Never mind. We know enough about the two of you to put this story together. Unless you'd like to save us the trouble.
I might as well. Because you just can't trust anyone.
You can't trust anyone when you're selling out your country, that's for sure. Go on, you. Hello there. I'm Lloyd Bridges. You know, 3/5 of the world is covered by the sea. And how little most of us know about that underwater world. Go below with us again next week, huh? For another thrilling adventure in Sea Hunt.